Okay, what's in my box here? That is a good guess what that is right there. It's an Ultima motor. So, back in the day you could buy an 80-inch Evo motor like this for $3 grand retail and as low as $2,200 if you looked around. And you could build bikes like this out of it. Worked really good. Then Harley decided they don't like Evos anymore and they wanted to sell new bikes only. So they quit selling them around 2010 or 12 or something. I forget when they did it. 15, somewhere back in then. Probably around 12. So they quit selling motors, couldn't build bikes from Harley anymore. So no more Harley motors. And the aftermarket doesn't like 80-inch motors. They like building bigger ones. So the guys that want a stock motor, you're out of luck. So nowadays we buy motors that are a bit bigger than 80 inches. So let me get this up out of my way. So I get a lot of guys that want to go, think they want to go fast, but they don't want to buy a new bike because it costs too much. But they think the new bike is faster and better than the Evo. It isn't. Evo's the best motor Harley made, and it'll take the most abuse, and it will easy to fix. So there's what you get. You get a motor. So they make these in all kinds of different sizes. They come with different carburetors. This one I special ordered with a McKinney card on it because I like those. So it comes with a 45 McKinney. They put a stock type intake manifold on there for me. So they will kind of customize these motors a little bit for you if you want, if you ask. If you bought, if I ask, they do it anyway. So these have compression releases right here on the outside. You got that quick access to them. Boom, like that if you need them. And that's not too bad. They clearance them here for more clearance around your frame and stuff. So they fit in a little bit tighter spots. And so they get a little more extra room. So anyway, this is the black and chrome motor down in here. So the light's probably not helping us on this. So I don't know what all, oh, this is jetting and stuff here. So there's instructions, you want to read it. Ooh, they got Thunderjet. I hate Thunderjets. This does not have a Thunderjet because we have a real carburetor on the bike. A CUNY. It carburetes and works good. Okay, these do not come with alternators. They do come with a carburetor, and they do have an ignition down in there. You can't see it though. So anyway, these are what you put in there. They make these in all polished. They make diamond cut. They make silver ones, and they make the black. So there you go. Black is the most common. So they make them all kinds of different motor sizes. You got 100, 113, 110, 112, 120s, and 30s, and 40s, and 27s. They got all kinds of stupid numbers. They got so many numbers, who knows what they make. And so, anyway, and then you got S&S, they got their 111. That's pretty much all they make anymore, or 124. So, whatever. So, a 111 motor is a decent motor, but it costs a ton of money. It's 4 1/8 inch bore and stroke, which I don't really care, except it's small. This motor here is a 4 1/4 stroke and a 4 1/4 bore. So it's a 120. So it's a nice even motor. The 80-inch Evo crank in that motor is 4 1/4 inch. 4 1/4 is a great stroke for a Harley. It's long enough to get the job done, but it's not so long it causes vibration and other issues. So, and it's very reliable. So if you're going to do a 80-inch crank, you got options. You got the stock 80-inch motor. You can put 3 5/8 big bore on it, make it a 88-inch. You can go to the oddball 13/16 bore ones, which is a 95-inch motor. These are all the stock stroke. And then you go into your aftermarket 4-inch bore cases, where they change the bolt patterns and everything. And then you come out with your 107. Then you go up to your 4 1/4 bore is a 120. If you had a 4 1/8 bore, it would be probably something in the 110-ish area, would be my guess. 110, 112, something like that. So, and then if you go to the really big bore they used to make, it was a 130. That's a 4.4 bore. You can still kind of build that motor, but they don't offer it. Now these are all 4 1/4 strokes, so you got reliability and low vibration, all that good stuff. And the big key to all these things is the deck height is stock height or lower than height. These are about an 1/8 inch less than stock when I used to measure them. These are a different rocker box, but I doubt this gave you more clearance, so it's probably the same height, I would imagine. So these will fit in FXRs. and other close bikes. So that's why I like these. Now you can spend, rebuilding this motor, you're going to spend $1,500 to $2,500 labor, depending on who's doing it these days. These days being in 2020 time frame, 22, whatever. That's what they're going to run, and you got to buy parts. The parts used to be about the same as labor or slightly more, but now since everything has gone up because of Biden, the you can add 30% to 50% more onto that cost. So now you're going to spend $3 to $4 grand on parts minimum, and it might be more like 5 to 7, depending on what you're trying to do on your motor. You know, if the crank is bad and you got the heads are torn up and you need new cylinders and you're going to replace the cam, the lifters and all that, you're going to have 7 grand in that motor at least, if not more. If you want to put big bore heads on it, then you got to spend more money on those. And if you're going to take those and port them out and do a bunch of work and throw a big bore kit in there and stroke it, you know, it's endless what you can do on a Harley. And it just brings the price way up. So you're going to be at 5 to 7 grand for a motor all day long easily. And you're based off your small bolt pattern, which means you're going to be, the head gaskets aren't going to seal as good, and you're going to have to stroke it. When you start stroking them to make them bigger, they're going to start shaking more and have more issues. So this motor here, everything is made to be with the big bore on it. So the cylinder heads are all a lot bigger. The head bolt pattern's been moved out. The whole case on this side's actually moved out a 1/4 inch to make room for the push rod, you know, for the bigger cylinder between the push rod and the cylinder. So you got clearance for the bigger bore and still keep it centered. So this way to go on these motors. So it works really, really well. Like I said, the 107 is a really good motor too. That's why they use them in all the big dogs and other custom bikes all through the 90s. And the 120 is just a bigger combination. They got a bigger bore available, so it makes the motor bigger. So anyway, I like these. Most all these aftermarket motors will put out a horse per cubic inch, or maybe 5 extra. So this being a 120, it's going to put 120 horsepower, or 125, a little 5 extra in there. And that's how they do it. And the torque is going to be at least as much as what the motor size is. You know, an 80-inch motor will put out 80 foot-pounds of torque all day long. It'll probably put out about 88 to 90, depending on how you hot rod it, high compression, stuff like that. So these motors here with just minor stuff to it, you know, a nice mild cam, like an EV27, and you know, just a good, really good valve job, and maybe just kiss the port slightly on some of the high spots, but not do anything else. Ignition, carburetor, some type, either S&S or a McCuney, the better one, and some kind of a free-flowing exhaust system, or not exhaust, but muffler. The head pipes are fine, it's the mufflers. These motors will put out 72 to 75 horsepower all day long. That's with your stock compression. If you bump the compression up to the 10 to 1s, you're going to put that thing up to 78 to 80, in the lower 80s. If you put a bigger cam in, it goes higher, but you start sacrificing your low end and mid range, so you don't need to do that to make them go. So that motor all day long will put out, will make 80 horsepower. If you lean out a little bit, it'll definitely put out 75 all day long. Dead reliable, smooth, everything. This motor here, it's got a bigger cam in it, so it puts out more than 1 horse per cube. What I do is I have them put the smaller cam in it. So we take out a bunch of the lift out of it, so you're not tearing up your valve train, and I pull some duration out, so you got more low-end torque, and the power comes in lower. So I make it more of a tractor. It doesn't need to be a big hot rod. It's 120 cubes. Geez, how much power you need? So if I take out 5 or 10 horsepower, you know, it's just like the Evo. Instead of being 80, it's 75. Instead of this one being 120, it's 110 or 115. Who cares? Can you live with 115 horsepower, 110 horsepower, and like 130 foot-pounds of torque? That's what that motor will do. So, and this thing is going to be pretty damn reliable doing it. So they don't run hot like twin cams and all the modern bikes are. They just run cool. They got a lot of finning on them. They cool real good. You know, the only thing I really have problem with these motors is the gaskets will blow on you every now and then for whatever reason. I think mainly it's because of detonation, trying to make the ignitions and stuff. These motors don't like a lot of ignition time in them, and I think there's too much time in them. They start pinging and causing problems, and they start, the head gaskets and base gaskets will start weeping on you a little bit. That's about the only problem I have with these motors. They don't really have problems inside. They work pretty good. So, you know, they're not bad. And instead of spending, you know, like so you're going to pay average of 5 grand on that motor to fix it, minimum, you can buy this brand new motor for 5 to 6 grand. You know, delivered with tax, whatever. Easy. And if you know someone nice, you might get around 5. You know, if you know somebody. But anyway, there you go. So these work really good. And like I said, this came with the it comes with a $500 carburetor already too. So that's what I like about it. So this motor costs a little extra because we did the carb change. So we had to pay for the carburetor. So they kept the old one, and we made us pay for that one. So anyway, this one's going to another customer. It's going to go into, I think it's going to go into an FXR. Don't know. It's going to go into something. So I got to ship it out of here. Get it to him. And he'll be happy. He'll probably watch this video. Do you know who you are? Probably does. So it took 3 months to get this motor, and 2 weeks in shipping. And now I got to ship it back east to him another week. So that's 4 months, almost. There you go, supply chain. That's what Biden says anyway. There might be some other issues involved. So, and these ones you can't buy anymore. So there you go. So yeah, those are the motors I use. Like I said, the 127 is a good motor too if you want more power. You know, the 107 is a good motor if you want a little less power. It's a very good motor. You know, if you're scared of 120, buy the 107. They make them both. If you really want to go small, you can put a 100-incher in there. That's a 4x4, just like a twin cam. Well, like a twin cam should be. And it'll be, you know, the power goes down a little bit. Reliability, they give you a couple year or 3-year warranty on that one, I think. So, whatever. That one there is a 1-year warranty on that one, I think. So, whatever. I don't care about warranties. I don't even stock. So, anyway, there's your options. So, I just say these days, just take that motor out. Take that motor out of that crate. Put that motor in that frame. Take that motor, put it back in the crate right there, and then stuff that underneath your workbench. When you sell the bike, there's your motor. If you got another bike you want to use, then you take your motor out of the bike, put it in a new bike, take that motor, put it back in the bike, and sell it that way. It's all the numbers matching. You don't have to worry about it. You know, it's no big deal. If the police bother you about the wrong number on the motor, well, you know, my motor's being rebuilt. Supply chain. I couldn't find parts. I bought another motor. Replacement motor for now. Temporary. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Good excuse. But, oh well, there you go. That's how you do it. This is my combo brake. Boop. It's good, see? I like that. So it should be. This thing sat for 3 months. The first time I hit it, boom, it was right there. No bleed off, no pump back up. If you want to notice any bleed off, you hit it once. You hit twice again real quick. And if it's any higher up, you got some pressure bleed up. You know, normally you're going to come up about maybe 1/8 of an inch on your pedal because you still got pressure when you pump it real quick in the system. So it's got slightly increase in pressure. But the pedal should not change from here to here to here as you come up. If it comes up a bunch, then you got air in your system, which is not good. So this system, no air in it. People picked on me how I bled it, but you know what? When it's bled, it's bled. So our line just comes off a T right here, sneaks its way up, goes right back down to the caliper. There you go. Nice naked bars everybody wants. You know, stop very quickly because when you hit that pedal, both those brakes are working. It stops quick, just like a car does. Imagine that. So, all right, that's it for the lesson on that. So get that motor out of here, get this bike done. Next.